Here's the thing. Over a year ago, on July, Chinese version was getting his latest version update, and actually the last update that ever existed in any Pokeland version. Everybody was panicking because a few months later after this version was released, the Chinese version was getting closed. Everybody was thinking that Pokeland was going to end, yada yada. Everybody was just panicking. A few months later, after the Chinese version closed, I remember speaking with an admin of our English version of Pokeland, asking like, hey, the community is concerned. Will you guys close the game, or is there more versions to come in the future? And the answer was yes, there was indeed more versions confirmed that were already developed before the Chinese version closed. Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, and as you guys saw in the title, today we are going to take a look of leaks of teases, things that we might expect on the version 6.4.0. This is an article already created on Pokeland Legends Club, so if you guys want to check it out by yourselves, the link is in the description. Let's start over here by the item Perfusion. So, in a previous update on the English version, probably even 2 updates ago, I'm not even sure, there was something that we had for a short moment, which was the item Perfusion. And this was very buggy because it was not supposed to come in our version. And the logic that we kind of understood from the item Perfusion is that this should be a new gameplay that we should get in the future that will be used to increase your held items stats. So as you can see, I was basically sacrificing held items in order to get more stats to my double star held item. According to what we did understand in the past, this should be a function only for the items with 2 stars. So if this ever comes in the future, which we are expecting to be on version actually 6.4.0, we should have a bunch of stats coming up to our held items. This helps a lot, hopefully. This was just level 1, getting 8 speed and 110 HP, etc. This seems like a small thing, but every little bit matters. 4 items only for this level 1, it's nothing. It's so small, and it gets to a point where a player gets later in the game, they already just raid held items with the current events that are dropping unishards on the maps, right? So with the current events, you just raid so many held items that you don't need, that you will probably just have a lot over there in your account that you will not use. So my tip for the future is, if you are raiding unishards right now, raiding held items, maybe you don't want to combine them, maybe you don't want to power them up, because if you don't need those held items, there's no need to actually combine them and power them up, because maybe they are actually needed for the future for this game mode over here. Besides this game mode, there's also new Pokemon, okay? Let's start with Kubfu. So Kubfu, a fighting type Pokemon, that this is a latest generation Pokemon. It has some evolutions, and this seems to be a physical attacking Pokemon. This Pokemon was available to see in the shards page on the Portuguese version. So back in the day, this was on May of this year, I actually did a translation of the skill. So the passive increasing his own physical attack, having a skill 1 that attacks one enemy, 30% chance of increasing 20% skill power, and stacking up to 5 times for 5 rounds, cannot be dispelled. Remember, this is on a baby Pokemon that can evolve, so having something like this can actually mean that his next evolutions can be something quite big. It's a 40 skill power only, but stacking up to 5 times, you get up to 100% skill power, and it cannot be dispelled, so which can be very nice. The other skills are nothing much, skill 2 was a buff to increase his skill power, skill 3 and 4 was just normal attacks with no extra effects, 70 and 100 skill power. But on the research game mode, you can actually see Urshifu on the Portuguese version over here with the evolutions and also with the Overlord over there. So this is basically a confirmation that in the future we will have Overlord Urshifu. Now, in order for this Pokemon to actually be good in the meta at least, I mean, it will need either a lot of speed or actually something to counter the current dance meta, if we can call them that way, which is the action points of everything that exists in the top tier Pokemon. Okay, with Urshifu out of the way, we also have some kind of a tease, which is Tabulale. Okay, Tabulale is getting an overlord. It's something that I know that a lot of people wanted, Tabulale having an overlord. So this is also available to see on the research function. And not just that, if you would have a Tabulale in the Portuguese version and you would go to the explorers, you could see that there's indeed the overlord Tabulale over there, and it's not a mistake. It's actually in the game files, in the game code. We have no information about the skills, sadly, but we can expect maybe some changes for some psychic teams. I hope this is evidence enough that we will continue to have content on our game, and I really hope that the developers don't just stop with the versions that they already had developed, because by the time that I spoke with the admin, this was like probably over 6 months ago, they said that they had at least 2 or 3 more versions already developed and ready to just throw to the players. So do not worry, at least for quite a while we will still have a lot of game to play. We will still have a couple of versions, and really hope that they continue developing and bringing us new content like this. Even just like I said on a previous video, so on the latest update we got a costume for poison type, we got a costume for dragon types, and in my opinion this would be a tease for Eternatus, which is a poison and dragon type Pokemon. This would be a tease that they are actually preparing the game in order to implement Eternatus in the game. So no, I'm not expecting the game to die so soon. They just have to milk the Pokemons that exist and wait for the Pokemon Company to make new ones and have a new generation. Yeah, it's basically just that. Anyways, do not forget the link for this is in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next video.